In this next section, we'll look at the application essay a bit closer and also give you some additional tips on how to be successful. First, to begin with some logistics, this essay should be a maximum of 4 pages with standard 1-inch margins, double-spaced text, a 12-point font that could either be Arial or Calibri, and then also in-text citations when you are referencing other work. And these in-text citations are included within the page limit. However, you do have one additional page where you can add the full reference and also add images, figures, or other charts that maybe are helpful to have the reader understand what your project is. Here, for example, on the right, we see an example of a 5th page. You can see that this applicant cited the references here, but shrunk the text a bit so they had space to add photos and figures, but it's still legible, right? And it's labeled, which are two of the things we definitely want to see. It's really helpful if, for example, you say within your text, please see figure 2, that when the reader flips to that page to look at it, there is a quick description for what they're looking at. So feel free to be creative with this 5th page. Really use it as a way to showcase what your project is, have the reader imagine what your work is, and it can really lead to a strong application. Some essay tips. First, write in your own voice. It's really important that we see some authenticity, right? That personal passion for the project to come through. Really be clear about your role. This is especially important when you're maybe part of a larger team, a larger group of, for example, researchers or a bigger leadership project. It's really easy to get lost in describing what the whole team does as a whole, right? The purpose of the whole team. And while that's certainly important, we really want to see you highlighted out of these groups. So talk about what your specific tasks are within that group. What specific responsibilities do you have that are really key to the success of the project? So really make sure to zone in on what you do in specific and how this leads to the greater success of the project you're working on. And then next, describe how your activity fits in the big picture. So talk about the big why. Why is this project important? What is the bigger impact you hope you have on your community, or maybe just the research field that you're investigating? Why is this really an important thing to focus on? We want to see that you also properly cite references. It's really important that you do not plagiarize. So please include in-text citations and then full citations in that 5th page if you are referencing other work. And if you fail to do so, you might see some penalties in your score. And then after that, make sure you ask for critical feedback. It's really important that you do this before you submit your application. Have your mentor look at it. Have them understand what your goals are for yourself, how you hope this project will develop. And it's also really important because they will be there throughout this whole process, right? So having that transparency with your mentor about, hey, this is my project, these are my goals, is really key to be successful, because your mentors can check on you and ensure that you are pursuing those goals. Also check in with your peers. Peers can give you really good feedback, especially for the research applicants, right, who have 1 generalist reviewer and 2 specialist reviewers. They can give you that insight of what a generalist reviewer might experience as they're reading your essay. Like, hey, there's too much jargon here. I don't understand what these acronyms are. And that could give you really important feedback. Okay, I need to go back. I need to be a little bit more descriptive. And I need to clarify what these terms mean. Also, use more of the robust support that we have here, like the Writing Center, the Instructional Center, the Office of Merit Scholarships, Fellowships, and Awards. So there are a lot of great resources to give you great feedback, and we really encourage you to use these. And then as you are, seeking all of this amazing feedback, those individuals get the essay prompt and evaluation criteria, so that as they're going through your essay, they really know what they should be looking for, and also let you know if you've missed anything. Now, on our most competitive essays, here are a couple of things that we notice stand out. The first is that they are focused and specific. So they clearly articulate the project idea, goals, and plans. And like we mentioned, it's really easy to get lost in, all of the background information for your project, the history behind it, or the previous research that has come out of this field that you're investigating. But we really want to see what your project is, and we want to have this really take the most of your essay. Also, outline project milestones. They don't necessarily have to be date specific, but maybe give us a linear timeline, right, of things you want to do first, then after that's completed, what's next, and then ultimately leading to your end goal for your project. Also discuss the long-term impact of research or that this leadership experience on your educational and learning goals. So why does this matter to you personally? What skills are you going to get out of this? And how is this going to prepare you for the next thing that you will tackle after your project is done? Also, preparation for the future and next steps. How is this once again going to equip you for what's next for you? And then we also want to see that you have a plan to deal with challenges. So maybe include some of the potential challenges you expect to have. Like, for example, I might need to get trained on a certain technique, how to use a certain type of equipment for my research project, for example, and also a solution or a anticipated plan. So if you are anticipating that challenge with understanding how to use equipment, maybe I will collaborate with my supervisor or my mentor, that is, to get additional training on this technique. So really highlight that you have a plan to deal with challenges. Also, remember to really emphasize how the scholarship has an impact on you. How are these $5,000 going to really allow you to partake in this experience? And also, the level of commitment that you'll have because of this added resource of monetary award. We also want you to highlight that you have really strong mentorship. So how is this mentor that you chose gonna be helpful to your success? How engaged, how involved are they going to be? Are they going to work side by side with you in the lab to support you as you're learning? Are they going to check in with you every week? So describe to us what that relationship is, or what you hope that relationship will become throughout the course of your project. Last but not least, we want to see sincere engagement with the project. So really tell us why you will follow through for the 2 quarters that we will support you with this research, and give us an understanding that you're passionate about this, that you will follow through until the end. Some final notes on our evaluation criteria. Please be sure to address all those points that we share in the essay prompt. That really is your guide for how to be successful. We want to see that you hit all of those evaluation criterias. Also, even though we have all of those points, this does not mean that your essay should be equally divided among all of the criteria. And by this, we mean that 50 to 75% of your essay should actually be devoted to the description of your leadership or research project itself. So this is a huge chunk of your essay, right? Just your project in specific. And then the remaining 25 to 50% should address other criteria, like the background, the impact of the award, right? But the majority, half or a little bit more than half, should be devoted to the description of your specific project. And also, don't worry if maybe there's some criteria that wasn't explained too thoroughly. The letters of recommendation and transcript will address some of the evaluation criteria, like the preparation for your project, for example. We'll look at your transcript, see if there's any classes that you've taken that are relevant, that will help you be successful. And then by looking at the letter of recommendation, we can see your supervisors, or that is mentors, take on whether they believe you'll be successful or not, right? So we will look at those 2 additional items to grade and evaluate your entire application. And then we also have a comprehensive review process. We have 2 to 3 viewers, like we mentioned. We also evaluate this project or activity and its future. So we don't solely base awarding people who have the most experience, the best resume of prior experience. We really want to encourage people who are new to research or who are new to leadership experiences to really use our scholarship to propel them into um, diving into those areas. And that's why we really encourage first year students, transfer students, and non traditional students to apply for the Mary Gates Scholarship because we want to support you in really diving into these amazing opportunities that are out there. Also, decisions will be announced during finals week. We know this is typically a stressful time, but we do want to make sure that you are notified before the start of the new quarter in case that's when you plan to start your project. So this is when you can expect to hear from us. And also, if you are unsuccessful during a certain cycle, you can receive support to strengthen your application. We will have a workshop that's specifically designed to help applicants who were not awarded in a previous quarter to come in, workshop, discuss some of the main challenges that we noted in applications that certain cycle, and then you are more than welcome to reapply and get additional guidance, additional appointments with us as you are creating your new application.